Hello and welcome back, my dear friend. I hope you are doing well wherever you are. In the previous unit we learned about timeline, but now we want to go ahead and learn more about it. So stay with us. As I mentioned before, here we have our timeline with different layers called tracks, where you arrange and edit your video and audio clips to create a content, and we call that a sequence. Also, we have clips here, a short segment of the media file placed on the timeline with head and tail. And here we have tracks. Actually, these are different layers and you can put your content in each row. So that if you put a clip here on the top, for example here in V3, when you play it, you will see contents of this clip. Why? Because it is on top of other layers. So let's change it again to understand it completely. Now let's go to the toolbox right here, and on its top we have selection tool, and you can select it or hit V key on your keyboard to choose it. With this tool you can select your contents inside timeline, so let me do it for you here. So I select this clip, or can select this one, and even I can choose several clips together and can select the one that I need by pressing and holding ctrl command key on your keyboard and doing the selection. You also can do this by dragging and selecting them like this and complete it. Something like that. So as a result, you can do an action on selected items simultaneously. For example, you can move them together, you can delete them, and so on. Fine. And another tool that I want to talk about here for you guys is the razor tool. And you can see it here with this small icon. So you can cut things out with it. I mean, you can cut your clips with this tool in your timeline. So after cutting, you're able to remove those parts that you don't want anymore. Note that if you hold your mouse on this icon for a short period of time, then you will see its tooltip and its shortcut, that is C key here on your keyboard. So I select razor tool, and by clicking or hitting the C key, I will be able to cut my clips the way that I need. Now I click here to cut my clip, and it will be splitted into two separate clips. Alright. Now let me tell you another tip here. Here I press V to choose select tool as its shortcut. Then I select my clip and press delete key to remove it. Note that now I have a gap here. So let me undo it again, and this time I'm going to hold down the shift key on my keyboard and hit delete key again. So as you can see here, there is no gap anymore. Actually, this time I have done ripple deleting. Here on the timeline, you can also press Ctrl or Command key plus K button, so it will do cutting again where the playhead is. So with this method, you don't need to select the razor tool again, and it could be useful when you have to have a lot of cuts all over the clips. And finally, you can select the clip or clips that you don't want anymore and shift delete it. So it goes away and finish. You've done it. Now let me talk about trimming. I will show it here to you that what is it. Here I have this clip and I have chosen part of it and bring it to the timeline. But I want to make a little bit change and want to change its beginning and end point. I can do it by editing it here, and again it's easier to trim it here. So I bring my mouse pointer over here and notice to this red bracket, so I click and drag it up to the point that I want to be. I do it again this time here, and you can see what is the result here in Program Panel 2. So you don't have to really do the edits all over again inside the source panel. Now let me do this again between these two clips here, and let me do it for you. So as you can see, now because I'm doing it between two clips, I have an unwanted gap here. So I press Ctrl Z to undo and do it one more time. But this time I hold on the Ctrl Command key as I'm doing that. Alright? Notice how it doesn't matter and it brings your clip to the left, and we don't have actually a gap here, and finish. Good job, you've done it. Alright my dear friends, now let me talk about another tip here. Now I want to insert another clip into my timeline, so I select my in and out point inside source panel. Then insert it and finish. I have the clip right here. But let me do it this time this way. I select part of my clip inside my program panel this time instead of my source panel. So actually I have selected in and out point in the timeline too. And this is the area that I want to overwrite or insert my clip. So by inserting or overwriting, the Fit Clip dialog box appears, and because here my clip duration is shorter than the destination, you can for example change the clip speed to replace it. Indeed, here you specify where you should put the clip exactly. And to make its length equal, Premiere Pro makes it longer to fit it on its place exactly. Alright guys, the next two tools that I want to talk about here are Ripple Edit tool and Rolling Edit tool. They both exist here, but notice this small triangle here, and it means that there are other tools hidden behind these two. To be sure, just hold on your leftmost button and you will see hidden icons and can select each one you need. As you can see here, we have Ripple Edit tool and its shortcut, that is B key here, and the Rolling Edit tool with N as its keyboard shortcut. So let's see how they work. Here I have some clips, and with the selection tool I can resize it, make it shorter or longer. But notice that after doing this I have a gap here. So to get rid of this gap, I can drag next clip to fill in the gap. Also I can select the gap and delete it. I can right click and Ripple delete it, or I can use Ripple Edit tool instead. So when you resize it, the nearby clips will move in and you don't have gaps anymore. Also, if you have loads of gaps, for example, let me add several clips here. Fine. Something like this, with loads of gaps. Now I'm able to remove all of these gaps together as fast as possible in Premiere Pro. But how? You can do this via Sequence menu and then choosing Close Gap. Now let's go to the next tool and assume that you wanna decrease the size of this clip. Something like this. And you want to increase next clip size like this. You can do this first by selection tool. So I reduce the size from the end and do increase next clip size to fill in the gap. But you can do it easier by Rolling Edit tool. So I select this tool and see that what happens. As I reduce the size of first clip, the second clip size change. Alright, let me do it again. And fantastic. This is what Rolling Edit tool actually do. Okay, So please practice it with several clips to learn it more and more until you understand it as best as you can. Alright guys, let me go ahead and talk about another tool. But before, we should know about these terms. The first one is the speed of a clip. The speed of a clip is the rate at which it plays back, compared to the rate at which it was recorded. The second term is the duration of a clip. But the duration of a clip is the length of time it takes to play from its in point to out point. You can set a duration for video or audio clips and letting them speed up or slow down to fill in the duration. Rate stretch tool is a tool that you can use to change your clip speed or duration. Let me show it to you with an example. Here, I want to insert this clip here, but without trimming and missing anything. So, I can squeeze it a little to adjust its length. Now I select Rate Stretch tool, and then resize my clip and put it here. Now let's see the result when I play it. As you can see here, the speed of your video has been changed and it plays faster. Also, you can stretch your clip to make it longer and as a result slower. So I do it here again for you to see what's the result. But a fantastic tool it is. Great! Alright guys, at the end I want to talk about a new tool called Remix tool. Indeed, you can use Remix tool to find the ideal cut point or loops, retiming and rearranging your music, almost instantly. Actually, it saves all of the cutting, rippling, adding fades, previewing results, and trying to fit a piece of music to the length of a scene. As a sample here, I have these clips and want to sync this music with its length, so that an automatic analyze and remix happens by measuring several qualities of each beat in this music and by comparing them to every other beat. Remix tool then finds the path of highest confidence based on those qualities to create a musically coherent and seamless song remix, including cuts and crossfades. So to understand more, let's hear the music before making any change. Now I select Remix tool and resize my music clip this way, and wow, everything happens automatically. It is now shorter, but the music is also meaningful with the right in and out. Let me listen it again. Alright? It has been changed intelligently and automatically. If you zoom it, you can see several zigzag cuts that have been done by Premiere Pro Remix automatically. Indeed, every edit that has been made is displayed as a vertical zigzag line on the new audio clip. When you remix the song, consider elements like target duration, dynamics, so you can use the customized sliders in the Essential Sound panel to try out different arrangements. Now let's check these things together. The first thing that we have here in this panel is target duration. If you know the duration you're trying to achieve, you can type this in the target duration text in the essential sound panel remix properties. For instance, you can change it to 20 seconds here. For example, of course, something like this. The next one is segments. Adjust this parameter to control the number of cuts and crossfades made in a remix. Lower values make as few cuts as necessary, while higher values give the algorithm more flexibility to adapt to dynamic songs. And the next one is variations. Adjust this parameter to quickly preview alternative remixes, focusing on either more melodic or harmonic elements of the song. A track with a strong solo instrument, like a trumpet or voice, may get better results with a melodic variation, while an orchestral or choral piece may sound more natural with a harmonic variation. At the end of this part, please notice these two tips and tricks. Remix always keeps the beginning and end of your clip, and remixes will happen at the middle. If there is a specific part of the song you want to happen at a particular point in your project, split the original clip right at this point and remix both clips separately. You can then put them together to make a seamless transition between the two and align this point with your video. Remix does not understand the vocals in the music. Sometimes this means remix keeps the first few lines from one verse and edits them into the last few lines of a different verse. Keep this in mind while remixing music with vocals. Alright my friends, there are many other options here in timeline and I will cover it for you in the next unit. So I hope you have learned something valuable from this, and until the next video I wish the best for you.